And welcome into the Wheelhouse, your Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyle. Matt Mascarenas, Michael Stone with you, always on these Sunday mornings, a little bit later than usual. Come down, have some coffee and breakfast with us, because you will probably see me eating on screen if you're watching on Facebook Live, Twitter, YouTube, all of the outlets that we are on. This pod brought to you by Pikes and Peaks Sports Cards. Don't forget to go check them out if you're in the Colorado area. They are down in Colorado Springs, so make sure you go check them out if and when you can. And make sure you go to all of our outlets. Once again, on Facebook, Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyle. Hit us up on Instagram. You can hit Matt up at Matt_Mascarenas at Elevation 5280 Radio. I'm at Sports Junkie 25. Follow us on X at 5280 Sports Radio. Matt is at Matt Mascarenas 1. I am at Michael Spillin. And please subscribe to our YouTube and Spotify channels as well. Matt, how are you this morning?
I am good. I had a nice quick morning of work. Got the greens cut at the golf course, and had a nice breakfast sandwich, as we were talking about, as you're still eating your biscuits and gravy. It's that time of morning, I guess. You know, I like you said, you grab some coffee, grab whatever it is, and sit down and eat breakfast and drink coffee with us, you know, and catch a vibe, as the kids say nowadays, the way I understand it. Catch a vibe.
Catch a vibe. Catch it.
Catch it.
A lot to get into today. Fire and Ice will basically be our rundown for this morning. A lot of Olympic talk, obviously the NBA and Stanley Cup Final. It's hard to put those in the same sentence, Matt, because the Stanley Cup Final got rid of the S. I think we talked about this last week. They got rid of the S, so it's hard to combine those. But the Stanley Cup Final, NBA Finals are officially underway, and we'll get into both of those. And once again, the upcoming Olympics here, getting started in about a month now, man. We're about a month away from the lighting of the torch, so we will get into that. Great weekend of WNBA action as well. First time, Matt, this is the debut of the CC
There it is.
jersey on our program. So she had a good game on Friday night. So
she was great.
So we will get into a lot of good games in the W this weekend, including today as well. And as we mentioned, kicking things off with Fire and Ice. So let's get rolling.
It's now time for Fire.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
He's on fire.
I'm the only one of burning desire. Let me stand next to your fire.
And Ice.
Ice Cube, baby.
You're as cold as ice. Ice, ice, baby.
All right, Matt, where do you want to kick it off this morning?
Let's go with Fire. Let's start it off on the right, on a positive right note.
On the positive right note, Fire.
Ding!
Well, Matt, there were a couple of big bags given out over this last week in the NFL. Justin Jefferson gets an outrage, resets the wide receiver market, by the way, with just an incredible 4-year, $140 million extension. 110 of that, by the way, guaranteed, as Charles Barkley would say. And he just, again, resets the wide receiver market. And now we're waiting for the Dallas Cowboys' response, as CeeDee Lamb is awaiting his bag, if you will. And if you look at their numbers side by side, Matt, pretty much the same guy when it comes to their numbers side by side. Both been in the league the same amount of years, so CeeDee Lamb will be awaiting. All the wide receivers are happy, Matt, but what did you make of Justin Jefferson's extension with the Minnesota Vikings?
That's a good investment into McCarthy's future there, right? That's basically what it is. They're going to invest in probably. I mean, he's in the top tier for sure. I don't know if he is the best. He's one of the best wide receivers in the league, and I mean, he's definitely paid that way. So with this contract, but yeah, it's it gives more a solidification to the investment into what the Vikings did in the draft. So it's huge, and it's gonna. Yeah, I wonder what these guys that are next up. Like you said, CD. You got to think. Does this change what Chase got? Jamar Chase has going on. Things like that. I mean, Deebo Samuel. He's over there in San Francisco. He's talking about being traded. Brandon Ayuk was talking about being traded, and wanting a contract and stuff like that. If this is what this top tier guy can get paid and what a top tier receiver can make, it really makes you wonder now, like what's next? What's the next domino to fall? Who's the next guy to get paid in that category, in the wide receiver category? And it's crazy too. If you want to go here local, with the Denver Broncos, was Jerry Jeudy drafted before Jefferson?
All research.
Where's I didn't know if you knew off the top of your head. I think he was, and that's crazy too. When you kind of just look at all the bumbles that the draft process has been here in Denver. So
the Jerry Jeudy was taken number 15 in the 2020 draft. CeeDee Lamb 7, so he was drafted before all of them.
Yeah, all of them. Jerry
Jeudy was drafted 15th. CeeDee Lamb 17th, Justin Jefferson 22nd, and you mentioned Brandon Ayuk 25th.
Yep, and that's kind of if that hits close to home, but and you got rid of that guy in that class who's and where's he at? Cleveland? Oh, I can't remember where the hell he went. Where'd he go?
With the Browns.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's just that's something to think about here too locally. But I think for the wide receiver market, we're going to see how it changes. We're going to see who's next to get paid, which obviously it's CD. I would imagine, unless somebody else gets paid. Diggs is still kind of out there, but is he on the decline? I don't think he's going to get a contract like that again. There's just a lot of things that are looking forward to see what happens in that wide receiver market, that big money wide receiver market. But that's huge. Good for him too, right? Good for him.
Yeah, weird, almost weird to see wide receivers get that kind of money nowadays.
A dependent position, a lot of people think.
Yeah. When really they make the quarterback look good, let's just face it.
I mean, it's obvious, right? I mean,
speaking of another position that we haven't seen money really been tossed around in a long time, Colorado's own run CMC, Christian McCaffrey, gets a 2-year, $19 million extension with the San Francisco 49ers. So I don't know if Brandon Ayuk and Deebo over there is going to have enough money to spread around. But maybe that's why it was only a 2-year deal and not a 4 or 5 year extension. Running backs have those short shelf lives, Matt. So, but either way, I think Adam Schefter tweeted out, this pretty much reset the running back market as well.
Right. And it's good. The running backs were kind of being they were going to unionize last year or something. They were doing something last year with the whole the dude, I can't even remember, Saquon Barkley was going through all that stuff, and the guy in Los Angeles with the Chargers over there too. Had a lot of things going on, and it's good to see a guy, especially Christian, who was San Francisco's best player in the playoffs. I mean, he was coming down the stretch there. He was making plays that were putting San Francisco in positions to take the lead or to win the game in a lot of cases, coming down those last 2 games, the NFC Championship game and the game before that one too. So it's great for CMC, and we'll see where it goes from here and with the running backs. And when you look at Christian, like he's that type, because he can do everything as from the running back. He can run between the tackles. He can get outside the tackles. You can throw the ball to him. You can throw the ball to him deep. You can put him in the slot. There's a lot of things you can do with him. So from the running back position, he's kind of like, and there's the Deebo Samuel. We mentioned earlier. We talked about him kind of, sort of. They kind of play that same position, but you're not going to run Deebo in between the tackles like you are Christian. That's a big difference. But we've seen San Francisco use Deebo in that case too. So I really wonder if that's going to push up the possibilities for Debo to be traded.
Yeah, like I said, maybe there's not enough money to go around, or again, maybe it was a 2-year.
There's
deal.
only one football.
Yeah, only one football and a lot of playmakers over there in San Francisco. So we will see what happens with their wide receivers, as we mentioned, Justin Jefferson, pretty much just resetting everything. All right, moving forward to the. Again, it's always hard to say. I almost said NHL Finals, but that's just wrong. Stanley Cup Final, as there is no more of anything in the NHL besides this last series. It is the, once again, Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. By the way, did you know? I didn't know this until I saw it. This is the most will be the most traveled Stanley Cup Final in history, going from Sunrise, Florida, all the way to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I think it's 2,400 miles.
That's wild.
One way, something like that. It's over 2,000 miles one way. So can you imagine the back and forth in that series? So that was a cool little tidbit for that series. But in Game 1 last night, the Florida Panthers blank the highly touted Connor McDavid Edmonton Oilers 3-0. Couldn't even get a goal past Bobrovsky. So he was a stone wall in the net for the Panthers. But I'm glad it's kicking off like this. Again, Edmonton's a pretty good home team, so we'll see what happens when the series shifts to Canada. And it was a fun, entertaining game, although Edmonton didn't get a goal last night, Matt. It was back and forth, and Bobrovsky, again, the goalie for Florida, was just standing on his head.
Yeah, I mean, he was.
By the way, where did that term come? Standing on his head. Wouldn't that be harder to make saves?
Well, I think that's the point. Like he's doing so well that he's stopping pucks standing on his head because it's so easy. I think that's how that came about.
I would imagine it would be harder if you were
standing on your head, making saves. Yeah, but I mean. You know, he's a brick wall. He's a stone wall. There's not a. I like the ones when they describe how there's not an ounce of daylight between him and the net or something like that. You can't see. Is this going to be a series where the goaltending just like I always say and preach that goaltending wins Stanley Cups, goaltending wins playoff games in hockey? I just truly, and you saw it last night. That was a fun, exciting hockey game, but when you got Bobrovsky's doing what he's doing, what can you do? What can you do? And I always go back to that. Goaltending. Yeah,
it's almost like a pitcher in the MLB playoffs. It's just whatever pitcher just goes off and is unhittable in hockey. And to be honest with you, man, I couldn't even name Edmonton's goalie as the kids say, to be dead ass with you. I couldn't even name.
I bet.
No cap on this.
No cap.
I couldn't even name you well, we sound old. I couldn't even name you the goalie for Edmonton. So I remember when the Avs swept Edmonton 3 years ago in the Western Conference Finals, that it was Mike Smith was their goalie, and every time they took Mike Smith out, Edmonton actually had a better chance to beat the Avs. But they kept starting Mike Smith, and the Avs averaged I want to say almost 5 goals a game in that series as they swept their way to the final. But that's in the past. But obviously, and again, going back to the Avs, I hate to harp on it, but they almost won in spite of Darcy Kemper. If you remember that playoff run, I mean, Darcy was middle of the road during the regular season, and they won the cup in spite of him. Remember, he got a stick in his eye, and then Frankie had to come in, who just recently retired because of injuries, just can't stay on the ice. And this year, Matt, Georgiev was one of the best goalies in hockey, and they couldn't get past the second round of the playoffs. So it's almost in spite of the goalies, and it's almost because of the goalies you're making it this far. So it's kind of a weird shift and weird balance between the goalies and the rest of your team. But again, the goalies are the ones who, stop the pucks from going in the net. They can win and lose you games. They're almost like a quarterback, man. They get all the fame, all the blame, because they are just standing back there. You get screened in front of the net, Matt. You can't see nothing, like you said. Sometimes there's no daylight between the defenseman who's just who's just parked right in front of you. You
Right
can't
in
do
front.
anything. So
Yeah, and I remember like Georgiev towards coming down the end was terrible, and they were talking about. I was listening to the different commentary and analysts about it, saying that if they start Georgiev again, then they should start thinking about firing the coach. And I was like crazy, and then all of a sudden he's back, and then he turns it on and goes, just starts doing the things that he needed to do, but I've always just been fascinated with goaltending, and I think and I'm going to pay attention to that series. Is it Skinner? Is that the guy's name? That's the goalie for Edmonton?
sounds familiar.
Will that work? Something like that. I just goaltending for me has always been like you said, the quarterbacks and stuff like that. I just always look to them.
Always look.
Always look to the goalies. The
Always
5
look
hole.
to the goalies. Again, it's make or break pretty much. You just don't know
You
if they're
don't.
going to be on a hot streak or maybe they were hot to finish the season like Georgiev and just hit their low point, for lack of a better term, in the playoffs, which
Can't
is
see the puck. Yeah.
which is almost as a bad way to look at it, because you don't want to be playing your worst hockey.
You don't want to be seeing ghosts out there like Sam Darnold.
Good old Sammy. Good old Sam Darnold.
He's in Minnesota now, I think, isn't he? Yeah. Or was Jefferson for Sam Darnold? It could have been. Sorry.
We'll see.
Continue.
Yeah. All right, Matt, number 1 on the fire list. We kind of mentioned it at the top. Great weekend in the WNBA action. Dating back to Friday night, it was all those Commissioner Cup games. And the Fever got the win. Caitlin Clark dropped a 30-piece on the Washington Mystics. Washington, let's face it, they haven't won a game yet this season. This was almost their closest game to come out on top in Washington. And it was good to see Aaliyah Edwards, the former UConn product, out there doing her thing as a rookie as well. But the Fever get the 85-83 victory. The Seattle Storm, I don't know if you follow Nika Mule on Instagram, but if you don't, you need to. Not only is she gorgeous, but she has some funny posts on that. I don't know. Did you see her shirt, by the way? Because she wasn't able to play. She was able to play in the preseason, but she was not able to play the start of the regular season because something with her travel visa. And she finally got it approved, and so she wore a shirt of her passport, and it had it had the big approved stamp across it.
Yeah, I did see that. That's hilarious.
So the Storm actually get a huge victory, a 13-point victory over the Las Vegas Aces, Matt, on Friday.
That was crazy to see that. Yeah, that was a good game. And
then the LA Sparks get a victory over the Dallas Wings. Cameron Brink had another good game. Not many people, obviously, and for good reason, everyone's kind of hovered around Caitlin Clark, just not only because of her play, but kind of that stuff that's going on, the physicality kind of topic. Cameron Brink had a double, 10 points, 10 rebounds in the Sparks victory. And the Phoenix, in your homegirls, return to the Phoenix Mercury lineup.
E. Griner was back.
Yeah. And they get a 1-point win over the Lynx. There was a lot of good games. The Connecticut Sun get their first loss at the hands of the New York Liberty on Saturday. And then the Atlanta Dream take care of Chicago last night, 89-80. Couple of games going on today. The Liberty take on Washington, the Mercury, and the Wings are facing off. The Storm and the Lynx are facing off. And a good one, Matt, that tonight. What did I say?
Oh, so go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say tonight is a very good one. Las Vegas Aces at the LA Sparks. So we will see another good game there. So I don't know if you've did you see also Kate Martin, the rookie, Caitlin Clark's former teammate in Iowa, sold out her jerseys in the Las Vegas Aces store before anybody else's jersey. So that's kind of cool to see too.
Yeah, that's the rub. That's the CC rub right there. And Kate Martin is she's good. And I don't know if you follow her on Instagram, but I love the way she shows up to these games, because they really emphasize the walk into the stadium, the fits. Yeah. And she's just wearing sweats
Drip,
and just sweats in a sweatshirt. She's all the time. Like my wife says, my wife loves her. She's one of my wife's favorite players. My wife and I watch the WNBA every night that it's on. Anytime there's a game on, we watch it. We were watching the Chicago Sky the other day, and we were watching what's her name? The woman that let me pull it up here real quick. That hit CC.
Oh,
Kennedy Carter. She is a dog on the basketball court. I mean, we became fans of her. And I know
still not a fan. Sorry.
I know you're still not. I know you can't. And Caitlin even came out. And
the targeting penalties.
There's a meme out there going on about who the WNBA brought in to help corral Caitlin Clark, and it was Greg Williams from the Saints that with a bunch of money. So, but we were watching her and watching her go off. But did you know that that game between the Fever and the Mystics, I don't know if you know this, but it broke records. It broke Mystic records, and it was with a team that was where's it at here? They were 0-4, or it was between two of the worst teams in the WNBA, and it broke a record for attendance for the Mystics.
Yeah, it's
like a gate record.
I saw another crazy stat too. It said games that feature Caitlin Clark I think it was over 12 million viewers, and then it said games that don't feature Caitlin Clark was like almost half that.
Yeah.
So
and people are watching.
She only shoots threes, so she can't.
She only drains threes. She had along with 33 points, or what I think was she had 30 or 33. She had 8 assists. 8 rebounds and 6 assists.
Yeah, the opposite. 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Yeah,
and she had a couple steals too. I think.
Yeah,
that's a hell of a line for a rookie. That's a hell of a line. So, like, I mean, I watch. Me and my wife. This is kind of our thing, is to watch women's basketball. We enjoy it. We've watched several games. We're Caitlin Clark fans. We're fans of I can't stand her coach. I can't stand Stills. I can't stand her. She drives me freaking crazy. She almost lost them that game on Friday night. I mean, I don't want to get too far into it, but she almost lost them that game on Friday night. That's how involved that we are getting is I don't like I'm starting to get pissed at the coach that I'm going to go on to chat lines and start saying fire. I'm going to be that guy.
So I wanted to play this clip for you. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was Caitlin Clark talking about, because she was finally asked in the, I want to say the pre-press conference before Friday night's game, and she was asked about Kennedy Carter. I haven't fast-forwarded it, so I'm going to have to find it.
Yeah,
yeah. Oops, there's your girl.
Come on,
there.
See, there she is. God, she's terrible.
Welcome to Washington. Kennedy Carter moves you, so an apology, a public apology of some sort after what happened.
No. I mean, basketball is competitive. I get it. Sometimes your emotions get the best of you. Happened to me multiple times throughout the course of my career. People are competitive. It is what it is. And she's having a tremendous season. She's played great basketball in my eyes, probably in first place for 6th player of the year. She's been great off the bench for them. I think she had 25 here last night and really helped them win the game. So, and that's just not where my focus is.
I watch that
That's
game.
not what I think about on a day-to-day basis. I think about my team. I think about ways that I can get better. It's just basketball at the end of the day. There's no grudges. There's nothing like that. It's a sport. It's competitive. It's not going to be nice all the time. That's not what basketball is. And I think people that play that at the highest level understand that.
So those were CC's comments before their game against the
Mystics.
The Mystics. So that was, always taking the high road, I guess, but. And
she's getting really good at that. She's getting really good at doing those press conferences, and that's one thing that I was curious to see how she was going to handle it. Yeah, because she was one of the most popular players, so she was always there getting asked questions. People always want to talk to her. But she's getting really good at that. She's saying the right things. She's saying the things that she needs, that she should say, and she understands the game. She understands the game. Let the analysts, let the other people that talk for a living, talk about, if it's dirty, if they need to say it, if she needs to apologize, blah, 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 blah. She understands what's going on the basketball court. She gets it. She gets it.
All right. That'll do it for our fire list. Let's head on to the not so hot topics that are going on here. And moving on to our ice list.
We wear caps and sleeves at this level, son. We wear caps and sleeves.
Yeah, I know. All right.
I told you he's going to get you.
Number 3 on our ice list. Well, he made a good catch against the wall, Matt, and we're talking about Chris Bryant, the basically the bank robber here in Colorado. And again, if it don't make money, it don't make sense. But he ran into the wall, Matt, made a good catch on the play, and hurt his little back again. So once again, the Colorado Rockies placed Chris Bryant on, what is it called now? The IL, IR, DL?
I don't know. I don't know.
They changed it.
I know they changed it, and I'm like so confused on the IL, DL, because it wasn't always the DL, IR, because IR is injured reserve.
I think it's the IL now in baseball.
The injured list.
Yeah.
I
don't know why you can't just have a uniformed name across major sports, but whatever. But anyway, they placed Chris Bryant on the IL once again for back issues. At least he went out on defense making a good catch.
He made a good catch, and didn't he hit a home run the other day, or a couple home runs?
Hit a home run, yeah.
I mean, if I knew the direction this baseball team was going, I could be upset about it and like, oh, here we go again. This guy, get rid of him, blah blah blah. But the direction they're going is, I don't know, and I can't get mad about it anymore. I was talking to a Cardinals fan the other day, and we were talking about how they got worse after that Nolan Arenado trade, and how that he still couldn't believe, as a fan of the other baseball team, that they gave him $50 million to go over there, plus the player, and not really anybody back. It was wild. And then you look at this situation with Chris Bryant, how he's supposed to be that name that's here, and he's never playing, he's never healthy, he's always hurt, his back's always messed up. And how can you do that? How can you be the face? How can you get any money or get without being on the baseball field? So if that was the whole purpose, then they lost a lot of money. It doesn't make any sense that he's still on this baseball team. But I don't know what you do with him. Like, what do you do with him at this point? Are you going to eat a bunch of money again and trade him? Does anybody, do you get anything for him? What could you get for him? Like, that's where you're at right now.
Yeah, they'd almost have to pull another Nolan Arenado trade and just either just be like, hey, take him. We'll pay the rest of his salary, or they just got to eat it and release him. I don't know what you do.
Yeah, and I think at this point they're just going to keep doing what he's doing. Hey, are you ready? Okay, you can play. All right, go out there. Oh, you're hurt again. Okay, go sit down. Like just it just keeps revolving door. Get him in, get him out, or just have him be the DH. Like, just have him do that. Just don't even play him in the field. Just have him hit.
Can you put? I mean, yeah, Chuck Nasty at this point is more reliable at his old age.
Exactly right.
I am proud to say I have not watched an inning of Rockies baseball. I have not spent a cent on Rockies baseball this year. So I am proud to throw that out. I barely watched any baseball, to be honest with you, this year.
I've caught a handful of games on the radio, which I normally always do, and they don't even have to be Rockies games. If baseball's on the radio, I'll turn it on and I got it in the background, whether I'm doing something in the yard or hitting golf balls. And that's the only way I can really enjoy baseball. But as far as the Rockies go, I want to root. There's some guys I want to root for. Like, I love baseball and I love to root for the hometown team, but it's hard to be a hometown team, root for the hometown team here in Colorado, man.
Yeah, it is, which is why I am proud that I haven't done anything. So there you go. All right, man. Number 2 on our ice list, the Olympic rosters are kind of getting set and finalized. Don't know if you saw.
Yep.
Did they? I don't know who put these out. Maybe the Olympic. Or the 3-on-3 team that they play outside. That was kind of cool to see. I don't know if it reminded me of that dude who goes around and knocks on people's doors for the Pro Football Hall of Fame and tells them that they've made the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Went to you saw Haley Van Lith, the former LSU, now TCU basketball player. She got told that she made the I want to say the big three, but the 3-on-3 team of the Olympics, which looks kind of cool. I'm excited to watch those games. But her and Cameron Brink got their jerseys handed to them for the 3-on-3 basketball in the Olympics here coming up in Paris in about a month. And so that was kind of cool to see those videos. Now a lot of buzz is around, obviously, Caitlin Clark not making the Olympic roster. And we kind of touched on this pre-show chatter, Matt, before we pressed the go live button. But a lot of talk about why she was left off, why she's not going to be playing, even if she did make the U.S. roster, Matt. So kind of break it for us once again.
The way I understand this, and this hasn't been like this was kind of like a leak, a rumor. There was some this is what I read yesterday, and I've heard a couple of people say things along these lines is two high-ranking Olympic women's basketball officials basically said that the reason why she's not on the team is because she causes a big distraction. That she would cause a big distraction off the court that would lead to people wondering why she's not playing, making a big deal about the playing time she's getting, because if Caitlin was on this team with this roster, she wouldn't play hardly at all anyway. And that's just how it is in the grand scheme of things for rookies. But to come out and actually say that they're afraid of backlash, that they're afraid of the negative publicity and all that stuff it would lead to is crazy. That could be the case, or also the case could be just, hey, she's not at the level of experience that the team that is the roster needs, and she wouldn't get much playing time anyway. That instead of just going that route about it, this is kind of where they're going. And there's a lot of the big narrative out there is that not very many people is going to watch this anyway. I don't believe that. I think this is still going to get the people are still going to tune in to watch Olympic basketball. It's the Olympics. I know, Mike, you and I talk about watching Olympics all the time. One of the most times I watch women's basketball is during college season or the Olympics in the past. Up until this year, I've watched a lot of WNBA, but in the past, it was college basketball and the Olympics. So I'm going to be watching for sure whether Cece's playing or not. We're big fans of Caitlin, and I don't care. I understand the situation. I mean, you go back, you even look at the men's teams. When rookies get selected, that they very seldom do, they hardly play, if at all, play. And this would be the situation with Caitlin. This USA team that is going to these Olympics here is very, very experienced. Diana Travasi's on this team. Very, very experienced. Brittany Griner's on this team. Enescu's on this team. Kelsey Plum, Brianna Stewart. Those players are there. This team has won 7 straight gold medals. They are 70-3 in the Olympics. Doesn't make sense for Caitlin at this time to be on this team. And that's the biggest thing. And it's better for her if she's off the team. Mike, I mean, we both watch her play. She's played college basketball all season long, goes right into a WNBA season. And she would love some time off, I would bet she loved some time to get off, to recoup, stuff like that. Not saying that she wouldn't love the experience of being on the team, but it's just one of those situations, in my opinion, that I think it's the distraction isn't worth the contribution on the floor isn't worth the distraction that would be off the court for this Olympic team. That's the way I see it. But for them to come out and say it the way that they did, the way that I'm reading, is crazy. If that's true, if that's the real reason why, it is crazy to actually come out and say that.
Yeah, and I get not playing her a lot with this roster, but at the same time, I guess it's not a good distraction, or is it a healthy distraction? I don't know how you would distinguish that. But either way, I mean, if you get a camera crew back there and almost film like the behind the scenes of these teams as a documentary type thing, like they did. I don't know if you've watched the Iowa behind
yeah.
the thing. That was pretty cool. And maybe you do that when she does make an Olympic roster. When when Diana Taurasi calls it a career, or what, as these other women get older and call it a career, maybe that's when she goes. I don't know, but she has been on Olympic rosters before in college, so it's not.
Right.
It wouldn't be really anything new. It would be a whole different level of competition for sure. So, and you got girls like Kelsey Plum and Sabrina out there who, let's face it, Matt, they're one of the two, if not the best two point guards in all of the WNBA anyway. So, and you just name 5 of those women, Matt. That's a pretty dang good starting 5.
And
anyway.
Right. And I mean, you look at the roster too, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 Las Vegas Ace players on this team. And a lot of people are calling this.
We're forgetting Asia Wilson.
I didn't even say Asia Wilson.
Yeah,
Alyssa Thomas is on this team.
She might win back-to-back MVP.
Right. Alyssa Thomas is on this team. Like, we could, like, the biggest snubs are like, where's the girl from the girl that's, I forget her name now, darn it. There's a couple other girls that aren't on this team right now that you can look at that are this, like, where's she at? Where are these girls? Well, how come they didn't make the team? And I mean, there's no, because if you want to go, play devil's advocate, like, why isn't Angel Reese on this team, right? Why isn't Brink on this team?
Yeah, they're kind of they kind of stay away from the younger.
They do. They do. So it makes sense that Caitlin's not on this team. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those deals where it's a vortex right now. She's like a tornado. She's a storm of popularity, and the Olympics just they don't want to have anything to do with it because they have a good system going.
And she doesn't bring that distraction on purpose. She's
just
there to ball.
She's there to be a baller, and she's gotta do her best with it, And
to be honest, she probably wouldn't mind going just for the experience.
She probably
could care less if she got playing. I mean, she wouldn't say that out loud, but she probably would be like, I'm just here. If I play, great. If not, I'm gaining experience with these girls.
Right.
And like you kind of mentioned, Matt, a lot of the names on this list may not have that respect for her just yet.
Right. And
or,
I mean,
can you imagine though? Can you imagine those Olympic practices though, where Caitlin's getting bullied by these girls? I mean, it would almost help her game.
Yeah, it would be great for Caitlin, and it would be good too. Like, she could earn some stripes in there. Go in there and get beat up and get beat up the entire day, and be there tomorrow morning before other girls ready to get beat up again.
Yeah, that would gain their respect. Can you imagine Diana Taurasi versus Caitlin Clark in practice at 5 o'clock in the morning?
It'd be fun. And
that's where you send the documentary crew back there, because that would be an amazing watch.
Right. And I mean, from that perspective, for sure, it would be great for her to be on this team, and to get molded like that, because that's what it would happen. They would go at her in practice. She would go at them in practice, and it would make her and it would make them better. So that would be great for her from her personal experience, for sure.
All right, Matt, moving on to the last item on our fire list. We moved to game 1 of the NBA Finals, which was on, when was that?
Thursday.
Yeah, it's stupid, Matt. Stupid, these games.
I
guess they didn't want to butt up against the Stanley Cup Final on Saturday, but you could have played this. You could have played this, early evening, whatever. I mean, I'm sure people on the East Coast would love an early evening game anyway, but now you got to play a late game on a Sunday night. Everyone has to work tomorrow. It's just stupid. But anyway,
it's crazy. I'm glad the Nuggets aren't in it. In that, well, see,
it's so nice to go to bed.
Because I hate those nights, man. I know I'm not. I know you do. You hate them. I hate them. They're terrible. Because you either go to bed pissed off and you can't sleep, or you're too jacked up on adrenaline because it was a great game and you can't sleep then either.
Yeah, either way, you can't sleep.
No.
But so number one on our fire or ice list, Matt, the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know what happened, Matt. They just came out, got punched in the mouth. I was not expecting I think I turned it on at some point, man. It was a 30-point Boston lead. I was like, this is stupid. Never watched another minute of it. It looked like watching some of the highlights, Matt, that Dallas made a little bit of a comeback. Luka made a half-court shot, crazy. How about Kristaps Porzingis, Matt? Everyone
On fire.
had questions around him. Coming back his first game since the first round where he got hurt, and a lot of questions surrounding him going up against his old team, Kyrie back in Boston, all the kind of side headlines, storylines that were happening in this one. But Kristaps goes off for 20 plus points. I mean, Jason Tatum was Jason Tatum. He had like 12 points, but Kristaps and Jaylen Brown combined for like 40 something. So that was crazy. Was Dallas just not ready for this? I mean, I guess, when you have a mixture of young guys and old guys, like both of these teams do,
Mm-hmm.
you depend on the vets like a Kyrie, like a Al Horford, I guess, for Boston. And most of these guys, Tatum, Brown, have been together for a while now, and they've been through these playoff games. You kind of lean on those guys to say, hey, what are we supposed to expect? What happens if we get punched in the mouth right away? How do we respond? What adjustments do we make? And it just looked like Dallas was just not ready for any of this.
Yeah, it was I was wondering if when this game was going to happen, because it happens with the Celtics at least once, maybe a couple times a series where they go off and they don't miss a three-pointer. Kristaps Porzingis was out of his mind in that first half, but he was non-existent in the second half. And this game was a tale of kind of what needs to happen to go forward to win for Boston to win this series. And it's Kyrie they need Kyrie to stay in his head, which what he is now. There was nobody to ride with Luka when he came back, when they made a run in the second half where they were basically neck to neck, or maybe even Dallas was even better than the Celtics in that second half. I know they won by 15 or 18, whatever it was, or 19 points. I know they still, the margin was, but that it was already because that margin already established so high in that first quarter. I mean, you can look at this game and say it was over in the first quarter. Dallas or Boston won it in the first quarter. After that, it was relatively even. Kristaps Porzingis was non-existent in the second half. Jason Tatum was after the game. I don't know if you saw this. He said he was like, he was shocked to be in the playoffs. He had to step back and take it in like, wow, man, I'm in the finals, man. This is crazy. Dude, you've been in 5 of them. This is your 5th finals. Like, what are we doing here? This is why I can't get with the Boston Celtics. And it's not just because I love Joe Mazzulla. It's because Jason Tate, this is your guy. This is your MVP. This is your best player on your team, is flabbergasted to be in the finals again. This guy should be locked in. I understand he's a young man. I understand he's still young in his NBA lifespan, but I mean, the dude should be locked in. He should be. You got on the other side of the coin in Minnesota in the last series when you had Anthony Edwards. Everybody's comparing to Michael Jordan. The biggest thing he has that Michael Jordan has is that mentality. Jason Tatum needs to take on some kind of that mentality. Whether or not he plays that way or he's that guy. I remember earlier in the year, he made a statement that he's the best, and it looked corny. It looked weird. It looked like Jason Tatum gives me big time Russell Wilson vibes. I don't know if he's that guy, but I really get those vibes from him. And the Celtics, they won this game with Kristaps Porzingis going off in the first half. I know he averages like 20 in during the season, but I don't know if he's going to be able to score 20 in the first quarter like he did in game 2. I think Boston wins this game tonight, but I don't think they win another one. As soon as Kyrie gets out of his head and starts riding with these guys and starts riding with Luka, I should say, Luka's the best player left in the world as far as the playoffs go, the NBA playoffs go. But I think he's going to take over the series. Kyrie needs to go with him, but I think Kyrie does that tonight. But I don't think that Dallas Mavericks win. I think Boston wins tonight. You have another crazy 3-point shooting night from this team. Jaylen Brown's going to do what he does. Tatum might have a good game, but I just think if Kyrie gets his head right and he rides with Luka, tonight's the best chance for Boston to win a game, because I don't think they're going to win another one.
Yeah, and obviously it's all about what adjustments is Dallas going to make. Like, do you just stick Derek Lively or Daniel Gafford on Kristaps and just say, that's it. Just stay with them. Even if we play zone, play that 2-2 floater type of, and just follow him wherever he goes. Like you said, Kristaps, he had a bunch of adrenaline flowing. It's his first game back in Boston, NBA Finals against his old team.
Right.
There's a lot of juices flowing, and you figure Kyrie at where he is at the stage of his career, where he's saying all the right things. If it wasn't for Boston, I probably wouldn't be here. It had to be a part of my journey, whatever. You think that would be. You think that Kyrie would have the same juices flowing in him that Kristaps had? Again,
Right.
NBA Finals against your old team.
And
Almost the same scenario for both of those guys, but
right.
Kristaps had the better game. And again, it's probably not going to be another lopsided game, like you said. Boston may get the victory, but it may not be as widespread of a score like it was in Game 1.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game tonight. I'm in for a good game. I'm excited for a good competitive game. I think it's going to be one. I think Kristaps is still going to be good, but I think Dallas is going to play. They're not going to get blown out in the first quarter. I don't think it's going to be that lopsided, like you said. I think they're going to control that. I don't think it's going to be because it was just like it was a wave. It was just a wave coming over, and I even felt it too as somebody sitting here watching it. Like, oh man, I can't imagine what it feels like in that game. These guys are just keep coming and coming, but in that second half, like it was, I was watching it and I'm like, this is why I can't believe in Boston. This is why I can't get with Boston as being the best team in the NBA, and knowing what I know is them, coming through that soft Eastern Conference, and everybody was hurt on the teams that they had to beat, and they struggled beating those teams. And then you come out and see and then Kristaps and everybody do that. But then that second half, I think that's what Boston was going to look like, is more of what we saw in that second half. And I think Dallas and Kyrie is going to figure it out, because we already know what Luka's going to do, but Kyrie needs to figure it out. But I mean, the bench, the role players like PJ Washington, man, Jones Jr., Gafford, and we talked about, when Lively, he might still be injured, but that dude can change some things down low. And I think it's Kristaps likes to play outside a little bit more, so it's going to bring Lively out a little bit. So, those shots at the rim are going to be there with Kristaps on the floor. And I mean, that's why I think he's going to keep Jaylen Brown's going to get to the rim. Tatum's going to get to the rim. And if they make more, or they do what they do, Boston makes threes, it's going to be a competitive night tonight. But I think Luka, man, I think he's going to go for 40 tonight, man. Luka's, like, I was watching him at the end of that game. He's just got that look. And I think he's going to will this team if they need him to be on his back. And man, I'm excited to watch Luka. I really am. That's my biggest thing in these finals is I want to see what Luka does. I really do.
Have we made our predictions for not only this series, but maybe for the Stanley Cup final? At first, I was like Dallas in 6, maybe 5.
I think we did. Yeah, I think we said Dallas. I know I was like Dallas in 6.
Yeah, I'm still going to go with Dallas in 6.
We were along the lines of gentleman sweep there too for a little bit, but I think Boston will win tonight. I think they'll win tonight, or they'll win one more game at home. I don't think they're going to win one in Dallas. I don't give them a shot to win one in Dallas.
So Dallas in 6 is kind of alive still.
I think I think so for sure. For sure.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens tonight. They say it's not a series until the home team loses. So if the home team never loses, Boston's going to win in 7. if we're going by that.
When does it start then? Dang.
It hasn't started.
The Lakers are still what? The Lakers are still up 1. What are they?
Yeah.
1 and they're in the.
So if they win the next 5,
they'll be back in the series, right?
Yeah,
that's when it starts.
Lakers
That's when the
14,
series starts.
I think. Is that what they're saying?
Something like that. Good.
Yeah,
God.
but speaking of the Lakers, they are ready to go all in, Matt, on UConn's coach. So stay tuned for that.
That is wild. That says a lot right there. That tells you that there's going to be a big trade that's going to happen, because I do not see Dan or Hurley coaching LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I don't see it. The way that guy coaches basketball and the practices he runs, no shot. No shot.
What happened to the JJ Redick moment?
That's who I think it is. That's who I think it's going to be. I just
didn't we talk about nepotism last week? And
yeah.
how Brian, I mean, come on.
And they're talking. That's what they're talking about.
These two dudes have a podcast together,
dude. I know, but that's what they're talking about. That the reason why they're going to bring this guy in is so they can develop Bronny. Like I was listening to somebody talk about, hey, yeah, when the Lakers draft Bronny, this guy can develop him. What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
What are we doing here? This guy's not going to come here to coach Bronny James. This guy is a legit college basketball coach. He runs his practices like a military. Maybe
that's what the Lakers need. I don't know.
Anthony Davis is going to be out there doing. That's what I'm saying. Like if it's fine to have that coach there, but he's not going to come in and coach. He's not going to manage egos. He's not going to. LeBron James should be the coach. I don't know why they keep messing around. Make LeBron James the coach so he can play and coach himself, and then Bronny can come in and then he can just retire as a player and then coach. I don't know why they haven't done that yet. We need a player coach. Why not it be LeBron James?
Yeah, it'd be the first one since Bill Russell.
1980,
whatever that was.
And Jerry West. Didn't Jerry West do it a little bit or no?
I don't know. I don't know if he did. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Did that guy even come to work today, or is he not? Is he got biscuits and gravy all over his keyboard again?
His face is in the biscuits and gravy.
Damn.
I'm gonna have to rewarm mine up. So, yeah.
Well, I'm going to Walmart, so have fun.
Well, Matt, are you excited for? Excuse me. Did you watch the 2 episodes of the Acolyte Star Wars series?
I did not. I haven't yet, but my kid told me it's great.
Good. It is.
Yeah,
good.
he said it's good. So that it's 100 years in the past.
Yeah, before the Empire, before the Republic.
Right.
It's pretty much the prequel to everything.
That's what, because we've been going off on a lot of Star Wars, especially I think we've talked about this. We talk about it all the time, but we're vibing so much on this. I'm excited to really get into this series, really dig into it.
By the way, if you're going to Denver Comic-Con, otherwise known as the Denver Fan Expo, Rosario Dawson, who plays Ahsoka, is going to be there. So you might want to think about it. I'm trying to get some cool memorabilia to get signed.
I wonder if she would sign something for me from that movie she was in with Ray Allen and Jesus Shuttlesworth. What the heck was that movie called?
I was going to say White Man Can't Jump, but that's not it, is it?
No, it's the one with Spike Lee.
It's
Spike. Yeah, that's a great movie. It's Spike Lee's movie.
I don't know.
Gosh. I can't remember it, but she was great in that movie as well.
She was also great in Clerks 2.
She was great in Clerks 2, right? Yeah. Oh, that was kind of loud. Clerks 2, and what other one was she in? Men in Black. She was okay in that one. There was another one that she was really good in.
He Got Game, by the way.
He Got Game. How can I forget that? She was in that movie anyway.
All right, count of 3. What's your most favorite basketball movie? 1, 2, 3.
White Man Can't Jump.
There you go.
Yep, we just talked about it.
Not mine,
that
though.
movie.
It's not my favorite.
What's yours? 1, 2, 3, go.
Coach Carter.
That's a good one. That's a good one, sir.
He's like, the dude. He's like, man, I will lay your ass out, and he's just like, I don't think so.
I don't think so, sir. Sir. I just love how he calls everybody sir.
Yeah, a young Channing Tatum in that movie.
Young Channing Tatum. Yeah. And that was a good movie. That was a good coaching movie. That's a good movie.
Good. By the way, did you see also, we should have put this on the fire list, the Anaheim Ducks. Guess what they're doing? They're going back to the ways of Disney. They are going back to that logo. They are going back to the name Mighty Ducks.
Yes.
So I get it, But if you would have stayed the Anaheim Ducks, and you just release like the old, you know how much money you'd make just releasing the old stuff anyway?
Right. I love that old logo.
Oh, I know.
I mean, that's classic. Do you remember Mighty Ducks 2 when they rebranded Team USA as the Ducks? Yeah. It's just so cool.
And then in D3, the Mighty Ducks, when they were in college, they renamed, what were they called? The Warriors or something like that?
Yeah, like the Chiefs or something like that.
Eaton Hall Warriors.
Yeah.
And then
that was an odd movie.
And then the banner came down at the end when the freshman team beat varsity, and the Ducks logo came down, and they all looked at it, and the coach was like, Bombay. Good old Coach Bombay. I was kind of mad that they canceled the Disney Plus series.
Why did they? I was getting into it too.
Yeah,
that first season was really good. The second season was meh.
Yeah, it was kind of. But the first season when they brought back Emilio, and then
when he's running that old ice rink, and then they have to. That was great.
I mean, I do like. Is it Timothy Oliphant or is it the other guy who they look the same?
Oh yeah, what's the other? I know the other guy. Yeah.
I forgot his name.
I can't remember his name either. But Timothy Oliphant is the guy that was the Ranger. He's always in those the gun.
Well,
movies.
he was in was it Mandalorian season?
No, Boba Fett. He was in Boba Fett.
By the way, when are those coming back too?
Soon, I hope. I thought it was
both
soon.
Both of them need to come back.
And he was on The Office too. Remember, he was the traveling salesman.
Yeah.
And Meredith she was saying.
I'm trying to see who it was. It wasn't Timothy Oliphant. It was God. They look the same.
They look identical almost. But wasn't he in Oppenheimer?
I don't know.
We might be thinking of a different guy too.
Josh Duhamel.
Josh Duhamel, yes.
Yeah, him and Timothy Oliphant could be brothers, twin brothers almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, so been playing a lot of NBA 2K, by the way, the newest one. You can download for free on Game Pass.
We got to play sometime. I was trying to make my player. He plays with I play with Wimby. I'm on Wimba-Wamba's team.
I like franchise. I like the normal franchise. So
do you?
Yeah.
I get stuck in the stupid create your player. I tried it. I
did that last year's game, and I was like, it takes forever to get them up to where.
Well, you have to do everything. You have to go to the rec. You got to go to you got to do all that stuff to really make it worthwhile. But yeah, I might start a franchise. What team are you? The Nuggets?
Yeah.
I might get in there and try to see if I can bring the Detroit Pistons back to life. I like getting the NCAA is coming out, man. Yeah. Man, I can't wait.
Yeah, I also sustained my first actual in real life sports injury.
Oh yeah, I saw the picture.
In 10 years. So,
I saw the picture.
Yeah, it's finally going back down to normal looking.
Are you going to play in the playoffs? Or are you out for the playoffs? Or are you in?
Oh, we got knocked out on Wednesday.
Oh,
we won our play-in game, and then we had a game right after that, and we got mercy ruled. So
1, 2, 3, Cancun.
Yeah, I think I played a total of like 18, 20 minutes between both games. It was just I didn't have any jump. I could barely run. It was.
That's why you got to avoid.
That's
why you got to avoid the playing games.
Well, we couldn't because we were the second to last team in the league. we beat the last team in the league, but then we played the number one team in the league. In the second game,
that's usually how it works.
Yep.
When you're
6 points in the first game on a bum ankle. So
hey, there you go. You're a grinder, man. You are a grinder.
Yeah, it felt super weird to run.
Take notes, Jamal. Where are you at?
But yeah. But that's going to do it for us here on the Wheelhouse Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyle. Don't forget to go to our home base, e5280sports.com. Kim Becker with all your Colorado sports news on Between the Lines. That's on the front page. Pro Wrestling Daily with Andre. That's on the front page. And then check out the audio and video vault with all of our past and current shows. Go to our Spotify channel to catch all the podcasts there. Go to our YouTube channel. Obviously, all the videos are on there as well. But you can get it all. If you don't want to go all these separate places, you can go to e5280sport.com. A lot new blogs coming out as well. That's on the front page. as well. So go check everything out at e5280sports.com and stay tuned to our social media for breaking news, shows, podcast drops, everything like that. But that's going to do it for us here on this Sunday morning. For Matt Mascarenas, I am Michael Spill. We will talk to you next week.